What is up, beautiful people? That is right. We are back with another driving video right here in the Midlands of South Carolina, Lexington, Columbia, and Lake Murray. And in this video, we're going to be driving through South Lexington, the 29073 section of Lexington. Now, what you'll see here is we're actually getting kicked off to give you a little bit of context. Instead of doing a full intro breaking down where we're going to drive, I left the amphitheater in downtown Lexington. If you watched any of my other driving videos, right off of Main Street is where this is. So you can kind of have context of where we start to where we're going. Really doesn't cross into South Lexington again until we cross I-20 a little bit down the road. And I sped this up just a little bit so we can get started right in the south side of Lexington. For those that this may be your first time watching one of the local videos, Lexington is not only the town, but it is also the county. And then we have areas that encompass the Lexington zip code. On the north side of I-20, 29072, and on the south side, 29073. Now, through this, we're going to cross into different areas, including Red Bank, the White Knoll area, Oak Grove, passing neighborhoods I've made videos about in the past, Bluefield, Ashton Lakes, Longview, Cassique, and so many more. All right, so again, as we cross over the interstate here, we do get kicked off in the south side of Lexington, the 29073 section of Lexington. A little bit more information about the south side of Lexington. It is made up of the award-winning Lexington 1 school district. We'll be passing areas that are currently zoned for White Knoll High School, River Bluff High School, and Gilbert High School. On the left, for my northern friends, Big B Coffee. Had a coworker that was super excited from Michigan when she heard that Big B Coffee was coming to our area, and they just opened their first location right here on South Lake Drive. This first intersection we come up here is going to be Two Notch Road. To the right is going to be industrial, and we're actually going to circle back around and cross over that a little bit later. And to the left, continue down Two Notch, you'll pass some neighborhoods. Again, we'll cross over that later on in this video. But as we do cross over Two Notch here, we are heading into the area known as Red Bank. Down in Red Bank, oh Red Bank. Those that know. But so either way, a little bit more about Red Bank. A lot of times people encompass all of the south side of Lexington as Red Bank, but it technically isn't. Technically, Red Bank runs from right about the general area that we started at right here in the south side of Lexington all the way to Platt Springs Road. It is actually simply an unincorporated community in the south side of Lexington. That's right, there's no Red Bank Town Hall, Red Bank Police, or anything like that. It's just a name that encompasses this entire community area. Now, I personally live on the south side of Lexington myself. That's right, we've been there for 7+ years and enjoyed it. Now, oftentimes I hear people tell me that, well, I've read on the forum, don't live on the south side of Lexington. And obviously, that is why as real estate agents, we're not allowed to share personal opinions, because obviously some people have this viewpoint to not live on the side of town that I live on. So if I were to tell you, hey, this is a great part of town, this is where I live, some other people will disagree with me. And so that's why personal opinions we're not allowed to share. Instead, we can give information about the area. As we continue on, this is South Lake Drive, one of the main drags that cuts from south side of Lexington and eventually into downtown Lexington, crosses over and turns into North Lake Drive. Down South Lake Drive here, there's been a lot of growth and a lot of changes. You'll see some older houses, and a lot of this is turning around and being sold as commercial developments. Just my 2 cents. I think one day this will look very similar to 378 with retail and different shopping down each side. But obviously, time will tell as we continue on. As well, later on down the road, you'll see where more areas where commercial development has started to pick up. so as we come up here, this is going to be one of the main shopping hubs right here in the Red Bank, White Knoll, south side of Lexington area. On the right here, you have Walmart, you have Lowe's, you have Pop Shelf. On the left here, you have Zaxby's, you have Carolina Wings and Ale. You have Doctor's Care, you have Lexington Medical Center, doctor's offices in the areas, dentist, oil change places, fast food, couple small sit-down restaurants, Starbucks, Aldi's, Food Lion, recently announced Lizard Thicket, banks, and a whole lot more. Now, as far as where we're taking this, we are crossing over Platt Springs Road right now. Again, we will loop back around and travel down Platt Springs Road a little bit later, but we're gonna take this down to the Bluefield neighborhood that I've done a video about in the past, and then we'll circle back around. If you talk to the locals, they'll tell you how Platt Springs Road used to be a 2-lane road and there was nothing out here. But obviously that's changed over the many years. And a lot of new development has come to this area. In the 7 years we've been here, we've seen it grow a lot. We'll pass by some of it later, the new development. Some here on the left, we're passing the public shopping center that now has Chick-fil-A in it. Tractor Supply up here on the left. And again, this is another area, as you can see, used to be a lot of residential down this side street, but as you can start to see, it is all now being sold commercial. Tractor Supply was one of the first ones that took over one of those residential areas. And so as the future grows, we'll see what these turn into down this stretch of road. So up here on the left, this construction that we're passing is actually going to be a brand new Lexington 1 elementary school. It is currently in the works, don't have an exact opening date, and they have not announced how that rezoning is going to be. So keep an eye on Lexington 1 School District's page if this is an area that you're considering or live in, to see as they make announcements about when this elementary school is going to open and what the zoning is going to look like. So right here, we're going to turn into the Bluefield neighborhood to give you an idea where it is. But this is kind of the tail end of the Lexington 1 school district. After this, it continues on into the Edmond-Pelion area. But we're going to circle back around to more of the south side of Lexington. All right, so now as we circle back around, we're coming back down South Lake, turning right onto Platt Springs Road. Later on, we're going to continue further down Platt Springs Road, but up ahead, we're going to make a left onto Old Orangeburg. But on the left here is actually development that recently sold. This is going to turn into shopping, dining, and living right here in this section. Of course, not all answers have been given of which stores are going to be in there and which restaurants. So once I have that information, I will definitely let you know, because the rumor mill is definitely circling when it comes to this development. So now again, we turn left on Old Orangeburg, and we're going to take this down to 2-notch. It almost parallels South Lake Drive. They do start to spread out a little bit here in the middle and towards the end. But to give you an idea, heading back towards I-20 down Old Orangeburg. Down Old Orangeburg, we're going to pass a ton of older established neighborhoods. Up here on the right is going to be the neighborhood of Ashton Lakes, built both by Eastwood Homes and McGuinn Homes. So up here we're going to be making a right onto Two Notch Road. A left would take you right back to South Lake Drive, right around the corner from I-20. On the right here is Hudson's Catering. If you remember in one of my other driving videos, I talked about the good barbecue restaurant Hudson's down 378. This is actually a location where they host their catering from. On the right here is going to be the neighborhood of Tri Springs. This was once an Essex development that wrapped up not too many years back. So right here, we're going to be making a left on Dooley Road. Dooley Road is going to cut through a little bit of industrial here, but it's going to take us over to Highway 1 right next to I-20, and we're going to head into the Oak Grove section of the south side of Lexington. So up here you'll see we'll come into a little bit of construction. That's right, they're completely redoing the overpass here at Highway 1 and I-20, as well as this intersection to make it a little bit easier to cut through this part of town. If we were to make a right here, it is taking us all the way down Highway 1, which will eventually take you into West Columbia and eventually downtown Columbia. And then of course, to the left would bring us right back in to downtown Lexington, just a couple minutes up the road. At the roundabout, we're going to be turning onto Mineral Springs Road. If we would have gone left at the roundabout, it actually would have eventually taken us to 378. That's correct, right near where the Hobby Lobby is. If you were to continue straight, it'll take you to 378 where it crosses over I-20. But this area here, as we drive down Mineral Spring, consists of a lot of older established neighborhoods, but there are a few newer developments that are now completed, but only within a few years. Willow Creek Estates, Larkin Woods, and others. at the stop sign, we're going to be making a right on Oak Drive. Down Oak Drive, we're going to pass Oak Grove Elementary School. As well, on the right, we're going to pass the Lexington County Tennis Complex. And on the left, the Oak Grove Sports Complex. As we come up to this intersection, you're going to see a multitude of shopping centers, and on the right here is going to be the Barnyard Flea Market. And again, this intersection is back to Augusta Road, Highway 1. So if we were to take it to the right, it's going to take us back towards Lexington, and to the left is going to take us to West Columbia. Here we're making a left on Bradley Lane. Bradley Lane is going to cut through, again, some older established neighborhoods, going to take us over to where Sausage Lane and Old Barnwell come together. making a quick left on the Sausage Lane and then turning onto Old Barnwell Road. Right across the street, you will see the Pine Grove Sports Complex. So this is going to be the intersection of Emmanuel Church. To the right will take us back to where the Tri-Springs neighborhood I pointed out was, but we're going to continue straight. Right here though, you do see at this intersection, there is a Walmart neighborhood market, as well as Walgreens and CVS. To the left, we're taking us to the Three Fountains area, getting closer to the airport. In that area, you're going to have a bunch of different fast food places, as well as the skating rink. Again, another area with older established neighborhoods and a couple neighborhoods that wrapped up in the last 10 years as well. Estates of Persimmon Hill and Manchester Park, and a couple more. Making a left here down Mack Circle, which is going to loop around to Happy Ridge, connecting to Steel Road, which is going to bring us right back to Platt Springs Road. So as we hit Platt Springs Road here, to the left, again, is going to take you into West Columbia, passing right near the Columbia Metropolitan Airport. But we're going to be taking a right, heading back into the south part of Lexington, back towards South Lake Drive. Again, as we come down Platt Springs, on either side of the road, you're going to have different neighborhoods, some older established, as well as some newer ones you may recognize. Lake Francis, which has been wrapped up in the last 10 years. Indian River. Indian River does cross into the Lexington 2 school district, but of course, since it's right around the corner from here, I do point it out. As we come back down Platt Springs, this time we're going to cross over South Lake Drive. But as we come up here, you will see a bunch of different places. You have San Jose's Mexican restaurant on the right. You have Frank's Car Wash on the left. And recently announced going to be building a Wendy's here on the left as well. But otherwise, crossing back over those shopping centers I talked about where you do see that Chick-fil-A, Publix, and so much more. As we do pass that shopping center with Walmart, Lowe's, and so much more, on the left here we'll be passing White Knoll High School and heading into the White Knoll area of South Lexington. Again, to the right is technically Red Bank, to the left is what we call White Knoll area. The reason it's called White Knoll, if you've ever stood up from White Knoll High School, you can see out for a long distance as it's a knoll on top of the hill. To the left, you will find the neighborhood of Bluefield West. Different than the neighborhood of Bluefield, as these lots were on septic, so they had much larger lots, half acre or more. So this light here is Cannon Trail. To the right will take us down towards the Longview neighborhood, but we're going to be actually looping around and passing that in just a little bit here. As we continue down, again, older established neighborhoods, but up here on the right, we're going to pass Carolina Springs Middle School and Carolina Springs Elementary School. on the right is the Platt Springs neighborhood that is future to be developed by Lennar. If you watched my entire video about Lennar, I pointed out this section of land where they are slated to build a handful of homes in this area. now we're going to be making a right onto Cox Ferry Road. We're currently in the area known as the Boiling Springs area. If we were to continue straight on Cox Ferry, it would eventually cross over the interstate into the 29072 part of Lexington. But we're going to be making a right here on Nazareth Road. On the right here is going to be the neighborhood of Cassique. At the roundabout here, we're going to be making a left. If we were to continue straight, this would eventually take us back to South Lake Drive, passing over the Red Bank Arena, which does include softball fields, BMX track, and the arena for horse shows. But now we are on what is called Longs Pond Road. Right here on the right is going to be the neighborhood of Longview that I've done a video about. In just a little bit, we're going to be heading down Muddy Springs Road, but I want to give you perspective of where we are. So we're going to head towards the interstate. So as we come up to this intersection, you will see some fast food places, McDonald's, Starbucks, gas stations. But if we were to continue straight, again, that would cross over to the 29072 Lexington. Right across the interstate, though, when you first get there, it's going to be the U.S. Foods plant, as well as the Michelin plant, and the recently developed FedEx plant. To the right is going to be the neighborhood of Hidden Springs, recently announced by Mungo Homes. But again, we're going to circle back around and head down Muddy Springs Road. Muddy Springs Road is going to head us back towards South Lake Drive. A lot of older established homes and neighborhoods, but as well as D.R. Horton neighborhood, Silver Ridge. After the stop sign, Muddy Springs turns back into Two Notch Road. As we continue on, you'll see this is a very industrial part of Two Notch Road, which does continue to the other side of the interstate, like I talked about before, with the Michelin plant, US Foods, FedEx. Down this way, you'll see some others, including Bentley pontoon boats, Sorinex, and so many more industrial places. But as we come here to the intersection, this is bringing us right back to where we started, wrapping up the entire tour of South Lexington. To browse local inventory here in the Midlands of South Carolina without being forced to register, head over to my website, brandongaron.com. Otherwise, watch this video here to learn more about the Midlands of South Carolina, and don't forget to click subscribe so you never miss a video.